Tell us about Malini. What is it about him that fascinates you so much?
Well, I read about this in the beginning of the book, saying that I read about Malini in Ricky Jay's book, Learned Pigs and Fireproof Women, when
Hmm.
I was about 14 or 15 years old. And so when I read that, I thought, how is it possible this short Jewish guy, Middle Eastern Jew living in New York who specializes in close-up magic can hobnob with all these well-to-do, wealthy people from around the world and get a
Mm.
chance to be put up in fancy hotels, etc. And I said, hold on a second. I'm a short Middle Eastern Jew living in New York who happens to like close-up magic too. And and so what can I do to walk in his footsteps?
Right.
And there's something about his whole demeanor that just really resonated with me. Especially, I lived in a town called Chappaqua, New York, which is a very wealthy area. It's where Bill and Hillary Clinton moved to. It's very upscale, and we were like the poorest people in town. My family were both school teachers, but I was basically interacting with very, very wealthy people all the time. And when I started reading that Malini was, starting even poorer than us, and he's living in the tenements in Lower East Side of Manhattan.
Mm.
That how is it possible that he went and traveled around the world 8 times, performed for kings and queens and multimillionaires and whatnot? And I thought that's the gig for me. That's what I want to do. And so I just started following his footsteps and performing some of his magic things I learned from the Vernon book, that was
Hmm.
dictated to Lewis Ganson, and trying to find things about Malini in all sorts of places. And obviously, Stars of Magic, his, several items of his, and all through Ask Alexander got a real workout with me, I'll tell you.
I bet it
Um,
did.
yeah, and I went through pretty much every reference that was available for Malini, but that was just the starting point because I went
Mm.
through Yiddish newspapers and had them
Ah,
translated into English, Japanese newspapers, which I personally translated into
I was going to
English.
say you wouldn't need those translated.
Yeah, exactly. And then, the Library of Congress has dozens and dozens of articles, as well as other online newspaper archives that I found literally thousands of articles about Max Malini. And by piecing them all together, was able to figure out not only what his act was, oftentimes by reading between the lines, how he did those tricks,
Ah,
and then by my understanding of early 20th century magic literature,
mm.
was able to figure out exactly what techniques he had to have used. And so I've started using
Right.
them in my own shows and have proven them to be true.